What's up, YouTube? This is your boy, the Metal Gamer, Alex Montalvo, Gaming 101. And this is gonna be a really interesting video. I'm gonna upload this in YouTube. It's been a long time that I have videos here talking directly to the camera. I've been just uploading a lot of game footage from my PC. But I have two topics that I'm gonna talk in two different videos. One is about cars, and the other one is about Nintendo. This first one will be about Nintendo. And it's not so much about Nintendo, it's more about Nintendo fans. I am being a Nintendo fan since 1985. I used to own NES. I don't used to own. I own an NES since 1986. I own every Nintendo console available, just not the handheld. I never been a fan of handheld until now with the Switch. With the Switch, I am enjoying handheld. But there's some stuff that I want to say and put this online because I don't like fanboys. Even though my favorite company is Nintendo, I don't like fanboys. And now with the release of the Xbox One, Series X, and also the PlayStation 5, a lot of rumors are coming out that the PlayStation 5 will have 9.2 teraflops, and then the Xbox, it will be 12.1 teraflops, and then the Xbox One will have better graphics, but the PlayStation 5 will have a better SSD hard drive, and that will make it different because the teraflops is not going to be a big jump, like to see a big difference and all that stuff. And then from nowhere, it comes Nintendo. And magazine or website, not a magazine, sorry, video game website, I don't remember which one was. I think there was IGN, asked Nintendo if there was worry about the upcoming PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. And the answer from Nintendo was that they was not afraid of any of those consoles. And they put that in Facebook, and I was reading the comments of the people in Nintendo voice chat, and the majority of Nintendo fans, these hardcore Nintendo fans, well, I'm not gonna say hardcore Nintendo fan because I am a hardcore Nintendo fan. I'm gonna say fanboys was saying that Nintendo don't need to be worried, that Nintendo can sleep basically in peace, that PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X will not be direct competition to the Switch. And in one hand, if we look this in two different ways, they are right. They are not directly competition because the Xbox One, Series X, and the PlayStation 5 are targeting more hardcore graphic people. People that love to have the latest technology and the biggest graphic cards and want their games to look as realistic as they can make them. As a PC gamer, I built a PC with a Ryzen 3600X and RTX 2070, and I love it. My games, I'm not playing the RTX 2070. It doesn't play games on 4K. There are some games that yes, you can play in 4K, but there's other one that if you're trying to play it on 4K, it will go in ultra settings. The frames will go down 20, 25, and it's unplayable. There's other one that you can play in 30, 40 frames per second, depend how demanding the game it is. But for play in 2K or 1440p, it's excellent. I can play the majority of my games on a Samsung curved monitor that I own, 27-inch, with 1 millisecond delay, 144 hertz, and 1440p with HDR Dolby Vision. I can play those games with my RTX 2070. Depend the game, ultra settings from 50 frames per second all the way to 144. To give an example, Forza Motorsport 7, I can play it in 2K, 144 hertz frames per second, with everything maxed out, and I can play that same game in 4K, like around 50 to 60 frames. It go up and down depending what I'm doing on the game. The Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are coming to target 4K. Would I believe they're gonna be equal to what PC can do? No, I don't think so. I don't care how much Sony said and Microsoft said. These companies, these video game companies, are targeting a spot that it will be difficult to achieve. For you to have a graphic card who can play 4K games, 60 frames per second, using RT or ray tracing, you need the NVIDIA 2080 Ti. This is a $1,300 video card. There's no way that Sony and Microsoft with AMD gonna do something similar to that and put it on a console for $500 with controller, with cables, with everything that you need to play. Now they're gonna play 4K at 60, yeah, but probably the settings will be medium to high or high setting, but it's not gonna be in ultra. And there's gonna be a lot of stuff like anti-aliasing and a lot of stuff that probably will be missing on those games when they run on the Xbox or the PlayStation 5. But when I hear these fans from Nintendo saying that Nintendo don't need to be worried about what Microsoft and Sony is doing, it blows my mind, because they need to. One of the excuses the Nintendo fans say in the chat is that the Switch is selling good, that the Switch is not directly competition to Microsoft, that as long as indie games continue releasing on the Switch will be fine. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, look, I used to own a Switch. I don't have the Switch anymore, because when the Switch came out, I love it, I like it, I use it. But it came a time that the games that I want to play was already out. I already played them. And there was not too many third-party games like now that you have Doom, you have Wolfenstein and all that stuff. So I said, you know what, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to use the money to invest, the money that I get, and invest it on my PC. And then when Metroid Prime 4 come out, or a Nintendo Switch Pro come out, I would go and buy it again. And since then, that's what I'm doing, just playing on my PC. And when I hear the Nintendo fans saying that, I was like, what these people are thinking? How are you gonna say that Nintendo is not direct competition, or that Microsoft and Sony are not direct competition to Nintendo, when not both of them, the three companies make video games? That's like me saying right now, oh, Tesla do not compete with Ford, Chevy, and Dodge, because Ford, Chevy, and Dodge make engines that are gas, so it appeal more to the regular customer and to those one who like muscle cars, when Tesla make electric cars that is more for the people who want to save the planet or want to go green. And that is a completely true statement, but still it's a car. And if you make a car, you are competing with every car manufacturer in the planet. If you make computers, you are competing with every computer manufacturer in the planet. AMD compete with Intel because AMD makes CPUs. AMD compete against NVIDIA because NVIDIA makes GPUs and AMD make GPUs. NVIDIA do not compete with Intel because NVIDIA doesn't make CPUs. But if NVIDIA decide to release a CPU, guess what? NVIDIA will start to compete against Intel and against AMD, even that they make CPUs for different things. So the same come with video games. Nintendo, maybe it's focusing themselves and make a system that is completely different to the other ones and don't relate to the horsepower. But that doesn't mean that because it's different, doesn't compete against Microsoft and Sony. And now, because they compete, even the Nintendo say no, it's competition. You need to have in fact that when the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation and the Xbox Series X come out, developers are going to move to the next level, which is almost on par with computers, and going to release games based on those specs. And I'm going to give you an example. I don't see, let's use Bethesda, which is the one who transferring, they're making almost all the third-party games from them on Nintendo. I don't see Bethesda getting, for example, Doom Eternal 2, because Doom Eternal is coming to the Switch. So let's see that they create Doom Eternal 2. From ground zero, created for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. That game is so long. That name is so long. Or PC based on the RTX cards, and watered down that game to put it on a Switch to run at 720p, 1080p, 30 frames per second. They need to hire a completely different team like they are doing now to water down the games from the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One to the Switch. So Nintendo need to step up and release a better Switch. A Pro Switch, it's needed. And then the Pro Switch, it will probably have the power of an Xbox One or PlayStation 4, which then it will be a little bit easier for the developers to water down the game to that system. Because it's not, we're gonna go back to the freaking problem that Nintendo have since the Nintendo Wii. Third-party games not on the system. You're gonna have a Nintendo game, a Nintendo console to play Nintendo games and some indie games that you can download it on your phone. Okay, that you can download it and be playable with better frame rates, with better resolution on your iPhones, on your Galaxy Notes, on your Galaxy's S series, or in your OnePlus T7 Pro. And that makes sense. And this is what have Nintendo on this whole. The fans that don't want to admit that Nintendo needs to step up. I would love to see Nintendo coming out of the shadows. Hey, I have the Switch. The Switch is for you to go. But hey, look, I have this monster right here that is capable of compete with Microsoft and Sony consoles on your house. Those the Switch, hey, this is your system to play on the go. Those ones who want a house, a system with a lot of horsepower to play on the house, this is what I got for you. Because Nintendo have everything to win if they do that. You will have the exclusive Nintendo IP games that nobody else have. Sony, either Sony or Microsoft have IPs that can compete with Nintendo IPs. There's no IPs in Microsoft and Sony that can compete with Mario or with Zelda or with Punch-Out, Jesus Christ, Pokemon, or with Smash Brother. Okay, so you have that advantage. Just imagine a Nintendo system capable of compete in graphics with Sony and Microsoft, and you will have on it your Grand Theft Autos, your Dooms, your what else? Red Dead Redemptions, your Maddens, your all of these third-party games that are in Xbox and PlayStation, but also the Nintendo unique IPs. Anybody who go to the store will get that Nintendo because it have the best of all, the best of everywhere, Nintendo and everything else that they can play in the other consoles. So that's what I want to talk about it, because this stupidity that Nintendo is not competing directly with this company need to stop. If you produce video games, you compete with video games company. If you produce cars, you compete with cars company. Okay, this is Alex Montalvo, Nintendo fan, the Metal Gamer for YouTube and possibly YouTube, Facebook. See ya.